So we get down to closing day, and it's been dry. It's been hot all summer. This house is beautiful. It's a wonderful house. We get it under contract, so wonderful. That means, okay, now we have a closing date. The 2 weeks before closing, this without exaggeration, it starts just raining, right? Heavy, heavy rain for a long period of time. In Missouri, we have a lot of clay in our soil. So the way that works is, it's all fine, but if it's dry for extended time, it gets smaller, right? Clay gets bigger, clay gets smaller. So at this time, it was dry. So that means there was a lot of cracks in the dirt. So when it rains for a lot of time, it means it goes way down a lot faster than normal because there's these channels as all the soils come up. So it's the day of closing. The buyer's agent goes just to check the house before closing, and water's in the basement. So that means it rained so much that it went down to the foundation, through the footing, and water's in the basement. He at that time was a relatively young agent and he called my counterpart, Chad, and he goes, "Hey man, there's water in the basement. Closing is off." And Chad's like, "Hey, my guy lives in the neighborhood. He'll be right there in 5 minutes." So I fly down. I'm at this house, and I'm like in total figure this out mode, right? Solve the problem because I need that closing. I need that closing, right? Because I already have that money's already spent. I just need it in my hand. Geez, I hope you don't have that feeling, but it really was out of necessity. This needed to happen. So I pull up, I meet the agent, and he showed me what was going on. I'm like, oh, okay, well, and I just explained, because I do have some soils and foundation information. I'm like, well, these window wells are like this. Let's get some window well covers. If we did a sump pump, we'll put a drain tile around it. I called one of my foundation guys. He showed up that day, and basically we solved the problems. I don't know how all that happened right now. That's a kind of a blur to me. But and part of it is, hey, we'll have this closing, but call it like $3,000. I don't know what, to do the drain tile at that time. And I had that check sitting in the mailbox. I was like, hey, I'm going to do everything I said I am. This person is going to be my neighbor. I want to make sure you have the house. I want to, here you go. Here's the money. Here's all the stuff. And they agreed to it, thank God. And we had that closing, and everything worked out well. The fun part of that one, the agent on that one called me back in 2-3 years when he's like, Kevin, I think I want to become a real estate investor. So at that time, I was with this bigger group doing a lot of stuff, and he came back, wanted to be an agent, and basically became one of my first students. And now he's actually one of my partners over at Cashflow Nation. So my good buddy David Onanian, who was also on the show, he was the agent that followed me and believed me when we went through this house. But so many emotions of mine were in that house, right?